Good evening, people of the Great Southern Land. Just trying out some new kit here. Hope you like it. It's another beautiful day in the Great Milky Way that we are all residing. I'll just wait for a couple to jump online before I get started. Just a bit of a follow on from today's video on social conditioning, and I just for some reason these sunnies and this hat came up on when I went live, so I thought I'd leave it there. A bit of something different, you know. Looks pretty cool, incognito. But yeah, I wanted to talk a little bit more on this social conditioning and a couple of things that have been in my field of recognition over the last few days, especially the pineal gland. Now, the pineal gland has been coming up to me over the last, well, since the weekend, so 4 or 5 days. It's really been sticking out to me every day. I've been getting messages in the cards about the pineal gland, and I did that talk earlier about social conditioning, and I was watching another thing from Thanos. I posted one of his videos up earlier about hey Cindy, about FEMA camps. He was actually he didn't talk about the FEMA camps in the video I posted of his, but if you go on his page, you'll see his last video. He talks about the FEMA camps in Broadmeadows, or what he suspects is FEMA camps. I can't say they are because I haven't been there and had a look myself, but yeah, really interesting timing and bringing it all together. So I just thought I would do this video on that, and we were talking earlier again about social conditioning and how this what is playing out is actually scripted. It's not mistake. Nothing's happening by accident. Yeah, it's all scripted and it's all designed. Social conditioning is about designing a species to go along with the status quo, and you do it incrementally, right? You don't just come full steam ahead and attack, right? It's the new modern warfare. Yeah, you do it because they don't have enough people to attack everybody at once. They've got to do it bit by bit, incrementally, under the radar, yeah, without people knowing. So it's just really interesting. I was reading a post earlier about, you know, I kept talking about the pineal gland coming into my field of information very prevalently over the last 4 days. And I was reading a post that someone posted, and it was about the thing they use to take people's temperature, right? They get this gun-looking thing that emits, I don't know, IR or however it receives the temperature, and they point this thing emitting a radio frequency or a radio hazard, and they point this thing at your pineal gland, yeah, while this thing's taking your temperature. So they're shooting a beam directly into your pineal gland. Think about that for a minute. So the pineal gland is the gland. It is the gland that basically it secretes a chemical called dimethyltryptamine, DMT, and this DMT is secreted when you're born. I think it's about 9 weeks into your gestation period, and it's secreted when you die in your pineal gland, yeah, and also when you have lucid dreams. It's called the spirit molecule, because this DMT that is released by your pineal gland, right, that is your connection to source, to the spirit realm, that is how you can get information, right? So when we open up this pineal gland, we have access to all the information in the etherical realm, yeah, the realm that we can't see. Like, you know, the same sort of realm as in, you know, internet. We know there's a realm there and there's information flying around us, but we just can't see it. Well, it's the same sort of thing. So what they're doing, right, is they're pointing this thing at your pineal gland and zapping your pineal gland, right? Not only are they doing that, right, And I'm just going to throw this out there because this is what was written on the post, and I actually couldn't share the post. And normally when there's a post you can't share, there's probably something in there that's worth looking into. And what it said in that post is this a step of conditioning to get people used to having something pointed at their head, right? Yeah? Getting ready for it? Getting you socially conditioned? Yeah? Think about that for a minute. Wow. And then there was all this other stuff today in my peripheral about the FEMA camps, and I saw a few things about that, you know, in Broadmeadows, and it really just sort of sunk in. Now, I hope to God that I'm wrong. You know, I hope to God that I'm absolutely wrong and off the mark, and that none of this is based in truth. And but we never let the truth get in the way of a good yarn. Is that right? Is that? I've heard that once before when I was young. You know, I don't really live by that principle at the moment, but, you know, have a think about that. And even if they're not socially conditioning you to get used to having something pointed at your head, like they did back in Nazi Germany, yeah, when they were doing what they were doing, yeah, just line up against the wall, you know, get ready to fall. Yeah, social conditioning. It is real. Just like the unlawful stops and breathalyzers and getting used to putting things into your body. Just like now, getting used to having people coming around and sticking things down your throat, sticking things up your nose, yeah? Next it'll be coming around sticking things into your, whatever it is, yeah? Social conditioning. So think about, as they're doing these testings, right? And this woman was a nurse, I believe, who posted this, and she said it's just as effective, if not more effective, to get a temperature reading from the wrist. So why don't you just point it at the wrist and take the reading from the wrist instead of pointing this frequency emitting beam into everyone's pineal gland. Some people might get that a few times a day. You know? And we wonder why there's all this confusion. Because literally, not only these things that are being pointed at people's pineal glands and head, yeah, socially conditioning people, we're being bombarded by the frequencies of these new hive flea things that are going up everywhere. You know, not to mention our cell phones and our smart meters and everything else that's been causing people issues ever since they were installed. But everyone's just like, oh no, we'll just forget about that. You know, if you're not used to, so for me, example, as a prime example, I can only speak from personal experience. When I turn off the internet, when I unplug my the thing that gives me reception, right? The ringing in my ear. Actually, the ringing in my ear comes when I turn on the, you know, you turn on your Wi-Fi hotspot on your phone. When I do that and I sit my phone there, it's just a constant ringing in the ears. And when I turn it off, it's gone. So it's really interesting. And I just wanted to talk about that social conditioning and just plant that seed that people are getting used to having something pointed at their head and their pineal gland, yeah, while someone pulls a trigger, yeah. And there's these FEMA camps being put up, maybe. I don't know, I haven't seen them. But, you know, they definitely have them in the States. And I have been told by a reliable source who is working in the industry that they have been building certain places to facilitate and hold lots and lots of sick people, right? So, as our corporate country goes into liquidation, yeah, and its assets, its persons, its dead corporations, its persons, yeah, are no longer necessary because the company is being liquidated. Well, what do you do with the useless stock? You get rid of it. Right? Think about that. Pretty scary stuff. But that's where we're at. And if we don't really start to see what's going on, we could be in a bit of strife. Let me see if I can get rid of this hat and whatever else is going on here. I don't know how to, I'm not an expert with this, so I don't know how to get, hang on, what's this thing? I'm trying to get rid of this hat and sunnies. Yeah, there we go, we're back on normal. So I just wanted to put that out there and just let people have a think about that. Social conditioning, it's just interesting that I was talking about that this afternoon a few hours ago, and then I was having the third eye pineal gland coming into my field over the last 4 or 5 days from multiple sources, and then I would read that post that I couldn't share. And again, usually when you can't share a post, it's because something that they don't want to get out, yeah, they don't want it shared because there might be some truth in there, and there's no room for truth on the internet because it can't be controlled. But, you know, that's where we're at. So I just, you know, I just had to put that out there and say that because it just came to me. And, you know, the more I release the information that comes in, the more information comes in and the more I can share. So, you know, there's certainly a lot going on, that's for sure. But it is another great day in the Milky Way. So, you know, I've been talking to some people recently as well, and you know, some people have been saying how they've been losing friends because of the information they're sharing, and you know, people falling away and whatever, friends, family, because they can't deal with the information or whatever. There's some divide there. I just want to say to those people, think about the amazing people that you're actually connecting with now. Think about the incredible people that you're coming into contact with, or that are coming into your field, that you're connecting with. Like it's almost like more of a family, you know, like everyone's sort of on the same page and sees what's going on. And yeah, it's really interesting. It's really interesting that all this information is coming out from all different parts of the world, from all different walks of life, from all different people, from doctors, from you know, politicians, from lawyers, from all these different experts. But because they're not, you know, labelled government experts, they're dismissed by the majority of people. But yeah, think about the amazing people that you're actually meeting, connecting with, because I've been connecting with some really beautiful souls, and I'm really grateful for that. So yeah, and I know that sometimes I might come across as a little bit harsh and a little bit forward and a little bit strong in my approach. And if I do that, you know, the reason that that happens is because the energy inside me is telling me to convey the message to you that there is a dire situation at hand and that this needs to be observed. Yeah, and we need to pay attention to what is going on. No more labels, no more dismissal, no more this, no more that. Just look at the information, yeah, and just try and comprehend it. Because it is, time is not on our side here. Time is of the essence. Yep. So anyway, that's it for that one. That's a real short one. And thanks. I'll see if there's any comments here. Hey, Kelvin. I'm trying to, let me get rid of this thing. How do I get rid of this? It's almost, oh, there we go. Here we go. Can't see my eyes, so there we go. Scott Barrett, how good's DMT? DMT, you know, that's the molecule of DMT right there. Why do I have that tattooed on my arm? Because when I experienced DMT, when I came back from war, it changed my life in such a positive manner that I wanted to share that experience with the world. And now I believe that DMT could be used, or should be used. It has been used for thousands of years by, you know, by tribes and whatnot for divination and for healing. But it is one of the most healing, naturally occurring elements on this planet. And it has the ability in one instant, you know, in a minute, to change a person's perception of reality for the rest of their life. It opens up a world of communication and connection to that etherical realm that we speak about, yeah? And this can be accessed through breath work, holotropic breath work. This is why I used to do the breath work workshops before that was abruptly come to an end. And what those certain types of breathing would do is actually activate and stimulate and open the pineal gland and flood the brain with dimethyltryptamine. And this is natural. Your body is set up to do this. This is not a drug. This is a naturally occurring phenomena. It's not a phenomena. It just is what it is. And it literally resets the brain. It resets trauma. It's like it acts as a washer, and it washes your whole experience, your previous experience of life. It removes traumatic experiences. It gets rid of fear. Yeah? This is the power of simply certain types of breathing and releasing DMT, dimethyltryptamine, from the brain. And that's why I've got it tattooed on my arm, because I believe it's that important. Yeah. So, yeah, Scott, it is. It's amazing. Cindy says the entire gesture of pointing a temperature gun at your head is disgusting. It is. And it really does now appear to be a form of social conditioning. Get yourself ready, yeah? Maybe one day you'll be standing in a room by yourself about to get your temperature taken, but it might not be a temperature gauge, yeah? It might be a soundproof room. Who knows? Who knows what's going to happen in the future, given what's already happening now and what's happened in the past. And given that everything that happened in the past those years ago is re-happening again, is recycling itself, you know? So, yeah, what else was I hearing today? A friend was telling me, and I've read this myself, there's predictions of our population more than halving here in Australia, UK dropping down by about 3/4, losing about 3/4 of the population in about 5 years. This is the predicted population reduction, yeah? So this is where we're at, and yeah, it is what it is. Hey, Marina. Blues Brothers, mystery illness. I prefer looking into eyes when you speak. No worries, Marina. Yeah, that thing just came up. I thought I'd just do a bit of shape-shifting. I've also been getting messages to do a bit of shape-shifting, you know, have a bit of a different appearance and whatnot. So just keep it a little bit different, you know. Cindy, get it off. It's better. Marina, we're F. No, we're not F. We just got to wake people up, and people are waking up. But I mean, look, if you're aware of it, you're just simply not going to go, and you're not going to play the game. There's a lot of people who aren't aware, that they are in that reality. This is part of their reality, and they will do what they're doing because this is their reality. They believe in what's happening, and they will follow that to the end, yeah, and defend that to the end. And that's basically, you know, that's karma, that's natural law, that is, what do they call it, survival of the fittest, natural selection, you know, because this is their reality, yep. And as much as we try to wake them up and share information, you know, some people, they can't receive that because they're just not open to it, yeah. And that is their path, and that might just be their journey for this lifetime. So, yeah, it is what it is. No worries, Marina. But don't worry yourself. I mean, look, you know, it'd be nice to get a few people here or somewhere. But once you've got yourself a community established and you've got people around, like, you know, there's going to be a time where this comes to an end. Yeah, there's going to be a time where this finishes. Okay, and just like throughout history, there's always been survivors, there's always been people left, and the people who are aware of what's going on, who don't subject themselves and put themselves in that situation, who remove themselves from those situations, well, you know, they're going to be the ones who are still left. and it is going to be a new world, and there's going to be a lot less people, and it's going to be all different, and you know, that's how it's going to be. So yeah, I mean, it is what it is, and I suppose nature's taking its course, so that's it. You know, try not to get too wrapped up around the axles. Share the information that we can, because that's our moral obligation, and that's our duty, really. But you can't, you know, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. So